You're not addicted to porn. You're addicted to comfort. Porn is really just your favorite flavor of this type of shit. If you don't know me, my name is Krishna. I'm someone who quit his porn addiction after many, many years of struggling with it. And I'm someone who's teaching the lessons that I personally learned along the way. And I make these videos so that you can quit too, and you don't have to suffer as much as I did. And so the big thing for me when it came to porn addiction, it wasn't just about finding comfort, it was avoiding discomfort. For me, growing up in a household where there was a lot of abuse, there was a lot of narcissistic abuse, you need something to cling on to, you know what I mean? Because one of the parts, and again, I'm still learning about this every single day, but one of the parts about narcissistic abuse is that it makes you question what's real. It makes you question what happened. And it makes you forget certain things as well. Younger me, when he was going through that time period, he might have needed that. He might have needed porn in some sort of weird, messed up way. Right? He kind of needed it, because otherwise he wouldn't get the stable love that he wanted. And so that was a discomfort that I was trying to avoid through watching porn, right? And I was trying to go towards comfort. And so the problem with this is that the world we live in today, it loves comfort. It loves the easy things, right? Nobody wants to talk about the hard things. Nobody wants to do the hard things that they know they should be doing, but aren't doing, the things that they're avoiding. And so this is actually a very, very interesting experiment that they did on these rats. They took these rats, they put them in a tunnel, and what they did was they wafted the smell of cheese from the front of the tunnel. And they measured how hard the rat would pull, right? And how hard the intensity that the rat would pull at was supposed to measure its level of desire, right? Its level of motivation for a certain thing that it wanted. So they wafted the smell of cheese in front of this tunnel that this rat was in. And the rat pulled a certain amount. It's like, okay. Then what they did was they wafted the smell of a cat from the back end of the tunnel. And the rat pulls harder. And so this is very interesting. I think we can extrapolate this out to humans as well. Not only do we want to run away, not only do we want to run towards something that we want to run away from something that we fear. And so for me, the cat in the sense was the abuse that was happening. And what I wanted to run towards, it wasn't porn, it was what porn provided for me, right? Which was comfort, a sense of comfort and a sense of love. That's what I wanted. I was running away from something that I didn't want and running towards something that I wanted. And our modern world these days, it's filled with people doing that type of stuff, right? They run toward the things that they want, right? We run towards porn, we run towards drugs, we run towards escape. We run towards those things because we think they're fun, right? But again, fun is such a subjective term. There are many activities that can fall under the word fun. So there's no one concrete definition for that. We run towards those fun things, and what do we run away from? We run away from our past trauma, our poor mental health, the stressors of life, right? We run away from those things. Because again, not only do we want to run towards something that we want to run away from something that we fear. And so nobody faces the things that they know they should face, but they aren't facing. And so once you do that, it's painful. It is quite painful because you're seeing a part of yourself that you've shunned, that you've hidden for a very, very long time. And it feels like pain. It feels very, very painful. But the thing is that if we look at all conditions of life, when you're getting worse, there's pain. When you're stagnant, when you're plateauing, there's pain. When you're growing, there's pain. And so if all conditions of life are painful, then we might as well pick the one in which we get closer to the person that we want to be. And so I think a lot of people, they try and avoid pain. They use porn, they use name any drug that you want, right? Weed, alcohol. They use these things to run away from their pain. But they don't end up realizing that that will only cause more pain long term, right? At least it did for me. I was trying to run away from that pain, and in some messed up way, I might have needed it a little bit. I might have needed to watch it. But the thing is that over time, that caused more pain. That caused a lot more pain than I ever wanted, right? Me being addicted to porn, that is. And so there's a reason why they call them growing pains, is because you're trying to grow into the person that you want to be. But in order to become that person that you want to be, in order to become the guy who's not addicted to porn, in order to become that new, that confident guy who loves himself, right? If you want to be that person, then we need to endure that pain that is required to become him, if that makes any sense. I think a lot of people deep down know this. A lot of people deep down, they know this truth. They know that they should be facing some things that they aren't facing, right? Whatever that is, the thing that you're avoiding, whether it's trauma, PTSD, poor mental health, loneliness, anxiety, depression, right? Your need for love. Those are hard things to face. And it's painful when you try and face them. But again, if all conditions of life are pain, if pain is a prerequisite to life, then we might as well choose the path that leads us to the person that we want to become. And so your actionable step for this video is just to do one uncomfortable thing every single day. Doesn't even matter what that is. It could be a cold shower, it could be waking up early, it could be hitting a hard workout, it could be having a hard conversation, because the comfort is going to die through the action that you take, right? And the interesting thing about pain is that you can habituate to pain, right? You can habituate to it. And so over time, that pain becomes a little bit less painful once we habituate to it, right? But the interesting thing about life is that life doesn't care. And one of the ways to make someone less sensitive to pain, or to increase someone's sensitivity to pain, to keep it at the level at which it was when they first started experiencing that pain, is to change the variability and the intensity, the potency of that pain. And so when I said life doesn't care, it means that life was very, very good at doing that. It's great at doing that. And so the thing is that you just have to fight anyway. You still have to go through the discomfort. And the thing is that once you go through one painful thing, you then just have more experience and more lessons that you can take when you go through the next painful thing. If you find that these videos are helpful for you and you want the actual step-by-step system that I use to quit porn, then you can click the link in the description down below. I hope this video helped you, bro. Take care.